So, Merry Christmas and welcome to the first of the Christmas videos for this year. I won't dwell on this, but I'm not doing Vlogmas this year. I'm getting married in a few weeks and yeah, that's just sort of like made everything busy. So no Vlogmas this year. However, I am planning on sticking to my regular upload schedule, which if you're new around here or hadn't even realised, oh, here comes my little Christmas elf delivering me a cup of tea. Thank you so much, in a Christmas mug. I upload on a Tuesday, a Thursday and a Sunday. So there will be videos going up on 3 times a week throughout December with lots of Christmassy content. So even though Vlogmas isn't happening, hopefully you will spot some of your favourite Christmassy content amongst those videos. Now the first video, this is a video I love filming and I'm so excited because I'm filming this literally, the turnaround on this is amazing. So I'm filming this Wednesday night, the 30th of November. I've just got back from choir. It's 10 o'clock. I'm gonna get it filmed, edited and up and ready for you for 6:30 on the 1st of December, Advent morning. And this video is all about the books that I'm planning on reading in the month of December. There is a whole host of Christmas books here, a lot of them new to me. However, there are a few returners from last year, but I'm gonna start with the new ones because I know people are always interested in what sort of Christmassy books are out. And hey, maybe some of you like to read a Christmassy book around the week of Christmas or in between Christmas and New Year or a little bit more into December, but there's plenty here that you're going to be able to have a little look at and maybe get you from your library or buy yourself or pop on your Christmas list or something like that. Christmassy books, very exciting. And then once this book's finished, because I'm filling up my my reading trolley here, I'm going to pick a book that I'm going to start with. I have got an idea of one that I'm going to start with. Oh, 2. Oh, maybe 3. Oh God, I don't know. But yeah, let's get going. So I'm going to start with fiction and I'm going to start with library books. So first of all, I'll start with sort of like younger person fiction. The first one I've got is, I think David's going to be really into this. So if he gets a chance to read it before we've got another one that we're reading this month. This is Whiteout and it is a novel, but it has different stories within that novel from different authors. Donielle Clayton, Tiffany D. Jackson, Nick Stone, one of David's favourite authors, Angie Thomas, Ashley Woodfolk and Nicola Yoon. Now I have read Blackout, which is a similar book set in New York about a blackout during a heat wave, and this is the Christmas version of that. It's Whiteout. It's just before Christmas and no one is prepared for this whiteout, but sometimes the most magical moments a total surprise. As the city grinds to a halt, 12 teenagers band together to help a friend pull off the most epic apology of her life. Will they be able to make it happen in spite of the storm? This sounds a little bit like Let It Snow. David's got his headphones on, otherwise he'd be all over this. So if you're a fan of Let It Snow, I feel like this is going to be great. And yeah, I'm going to... Is this one that I'm going to read straight away? Maybe not, but put it in here. Then I've got A Christmas in Time by Sally Nichols. This is a middle grade book about Alex and Ruby who've fallen through their aunt's mirror into a Victorian Christmas. There's a whole host of these different books. On the back here I can see A Chase in Time, but there's all sorts. What was the other one I saw? I think I saw The Great Fire of London. Oh, A Secret in Time, An Escape in Time, and this one is A Christmas in Time. Oh, I'm gonna move my cup of tea because that's just sensible, isn't it, rather than knocking out stuff. Pop it over here with my other Christmassy items. Mary Ann, oh, you can't see it. I arranged that so perfectly and you can't even see it. So yeah, so another book that's a young person's book. Then I've got, the thing is that they're not just going to sit in here nicely until I get other books. We leave them like that. Next up, I've got 2 books by the same author. Now, you will previously know that I'm not a massive fan of women's contemporary fiction or romance books, but there seems to be becoming a real sort of like development in those books, and the storylines that they're following aren't the sort of storylines that I used to read when I was younger, where it's sort of like woman meets man, straight white woman meets straight white man, they fall in love and get married and have babies. These books I'm hoping aren't like that. The reason I've gone to them is because of the setting. So these are 2 by Jenny Colgan. One is Christmas at the Island Hotel and the other one is An Island Christmas. I think I need to start with An Island Christmas because this I think is set first, and then Christmas at the Island Hotel is the next one. And these are set on the Scottish island of Muir, and follow Flora Mackenzie, who I think we follow. No, maybe not. Christmas on the remote Scottish island of Muir is bleak, stark and incredibly beautiful. On the tiny Scottish Isle of Muir, Christmas preparations are even more hectic than usual. I really like books set on islands, and I'm hoping that these live up to. I mean, the front covers are so Christmassy and beautiful. Hopefully they'll be okay. Hopefully I'll get to one of those as well. So those are the library books. Are they all the library books? Oh no, there's one more. That's a poetry book. I'll show you that a little bit later on. And then I've got two that I showed. I was going to say I showed elsewhere, but you haven't seen that video yet. I've got two of the little penguin seasonal collection ones. These ones are decorated, as always, the penguin cloth bound classic ones are. These are designed by Coralie Bickford Smith, and these are the little like seasonal ones. So these are from the winter collection, and this is The Nutcracker by E.T.A. Hoffmann, which I've never read and don't even really know the story of. I know there is a ballet made of it. And then Arthur Conan Doyle's The Adventure of the Blue Carbuncle, which is a Christmas story, but this also has other Sherlock Holmes stories in. So I might just find myself reading The Adventure of the Blue Carbuncle and then maybe reading the other ones a little bit later. But those two are two little Christmassy sort of classics. Then I've got one which is more sort of, I would say, wintry than Christmassy, but nevertheless excited about it. This is also a children's book, a middle grade book. This is The Miraculous Sweetmakers. You are cordially invited to the Frost Fair. This is by Natasha Hastings. This is a proof copy. It came out earlier this year on the 27th of October. It says, when faced with danger, the greatest magic is friendship. And yeah, it just looks lovely. And the proof copy of this was so nice. Look at it, there's a little sort of snow horse and a snow bear. And this is set in the Great Frost Fair of 1683, sorry, the other way around, when the Thames froze over, and shops and stalls and all sorts opened up on the Thames. I've actually just read a chapter about the Thames freezing over in my Nigel Slater book, so that was weird that this has coincided with that. So that's a winterier one rather than a Christmassier one. Then I've got two more women's contemporary fiction books. First of all, she can't stop dropping them because she's so excited. Christmas Island by Natalie Norman. A Cozy Christmas You'll Never Forget. Look at that front cover. That's amazing. And this is translated, guys. This is translated. Oh no, sorry, that's not right. This is Natalie Norman, who is Norwegian, her first novel that she's written in English. And this is about Holly Green, who took a long time to learn how to be a doctor, and it could all be taken away from her, but she only has herself to blame. She's retreating to her brother's rustic home on an island, love an island, off the coast of Norway to lick her wounds. Only it's the middle of winter and icy slush plus endless darkness isn't exactly the cheery festive getaway she'd imagined. Nearly stumbling off the edge of a cliff in the dark, Holly is saved by Froy, a yellow-eyed cat of fearsome but fluffy proportions. I've got a yellow-eyed cat of fearsome but fluffy proportions. And its owner, grouchy, bearded recluse Tor. Tor has his own problems to face, but the inexplicable desire to leave a bag of freshly baked gingerbread men on Holly's doorstep is seriously getting in the way of his hermit routine. Call it kindness, call it Christmas, but Holly's arrival means midwinter has never looked less bleak. I can't get over how beautiful the front cover of that is. Excited about that one. That is one I might start with, but this other one is the other one that I think I might start with. This is Make You Mine This Christmas by Lizzie Huxley Jones. The ebook, so this is a proof, but the ebook of this is already out. This was out in October 2022, and the paperback of this isn't out until September 2023. So if you've got an e-reader, you'll be able to get your hands on that. That's just Minnie having a little meow over there. This is a queer, seemingly, Christmas romance. The golden rule of fake dating at Christmas: don't fall for his sister. So here is two women holding hands with a man with his arm around the other one, and one of the women has a walking stick, so I believe there to be queer representation, disability representation. Yeah, and the first chapter I've read many, the first paragraph I've read many times, and sort of encapsulates Christmas in terms of Christmassy jumpers. I didn't mention my Christmassy jumper. I always start with my Christmassy jumper. This is from Tesco's a few years ago, and it really reminds me of sort of like 80s ski jumper. It's very fun, isn't it? So yeah, I'm looking forward to this. This is also on my, will I start the month with this book? I think I might start the month with I don't know, we'll put it there. And then I've got two that I got last year. Oh, these should be on the last year pile, but I don't know if I mentioned them actually. I think they might have arrived during December. These were both off of my wish list, so which was lovely to receive. So I've got Pride and Prejudice and Mistletoe, which is written by Melissa de la Cruz. So I believe this to be a retelling of Pride and Prejudice set at Christmas. Darcy Fitzwilliam, we know him, Fitzwilliam Darcy, simply doesn't have time to fall in love, but this Christmas, a kiss under the mistletoe will change everything. So yeah, oh, Darcy's, so it's gender swapped as well. So as partner at a major New York hedge fund, Darcy's only serious relationship is with her work cell phone. The truth is she's too busy being successful and making money to have time for romance and Christmas cheer. But this year, Darcy is coming home to Pemberley, Ohio, for the holidays. There she runs into her old neighbour and high school foe, Luke Bennett, gender switch, like that a lot, the oldest of 5 wayward brothers. When Darcy's enmity with Luke is reopened along with a hefty dollop of sexual chemistry, swoo, well, sparks are sure to fly. Can Darcy fall in love, or will her pride and Luke's prejudice against big city girls stand in their way? Apparently it's going to warm my heart over the festive season. There we go. And then I've also got Christmas in the Alps. I really like this front cover as well. It's very, very festive. And this is one written by Melody Carson. It's a Christmas novella. And it says, get ready for a magical mountain holiday. After a time of heartache and loss, Simone Winthrop discovers a tantalising letter from her French great-grandmother, which seems to suggest that Simone is heir to a family treasure. Ever practical, Simone assures the claim is baseless, but her friend encourages her to find out for sure. Despite her deep-rooted fear of flying, she boards a jet and travels to Paris at Christmas time to uncover the truth. During the long flight, Simone meets the charming Kyle Larson, who's on his way to France to become an apprentice clockmaker. Though they abruptly part ways, an unexpected rendezvous in the French Alps at Simone's family clock factory may lead to the discovery of family treasure and so much more. And then I've got the last, oh, not the last, almost the last fiction book. This was given to me. I love the front cover of this so much. I actually saw this in the library yesterday as well, by my friend Joe, who stole it from a pub, and he knows I like Christmas, so thought this. Now, this is saying sort of like Call the Midwife vibes to me, and you know how much I love Call the Midwife. So this is by Penny Thorpe, and it is set in the Quality Street factory. Quality Street, if you're not from the UK, Quality Streets are sort of like British institution of chocolates. They make tins every year of different chocolates. My favourite is the Noisette Triangle. I mean, everyone's favourite is the Noisette Triangle, and they're very much assimilated with Christmas. This is set in the factory of the Quality Street girls. 3 girls, 1 factory, a Christmas they'll never forget. And it's actually written by one of the historians who works at the Quality Street Factory Museum. So I feel like this, like I said, is, oh, here is a picture of a tin of Quality Street. There they are. There's those green Noisette triangles I'm talking about. So yeah, this is written by the historian that works there. And yeah, it just sounds like sort of Call the Midwifey vibes. I'm looking forward to it. I hope it's as good. I hope I can say to Joe, thanks for stealing that from the pub for me. It was actually really good. And then the last fiction, before we move on to poetry and picture books, is The Very Merry Murder Club, which is edited by Serena Patel and Robin Stevens. This is the book that we're reading for Christmas Patreon Book Club. It was David's pick and it won. It is a collection of short stories with sort of wintry and Christmassy and festive murders and crimes. David and I are very much looking forward to it, and I really like the way it's like, well, there's 2 things I've got to show you. First of all, I really like the way each of the stories is set into like a sort of case file. So we're starting with Shoe Done It by Elle McNichol. But underneath this dust jacket, you are not going to believe your eyes. Look at that. Isn't it amazing? So amazing. Yeah, and I think all of these pictures have like links to the stories as well. So once we've read them, I'm going to really enjoy looking at those pictures, and maybe as we read them and discovering what. So yeah, that's that. Then I've got 3 little poetry books, including one which appeared last year. First of all is Advent Street by Carol Ann Duffy. Carol Ann Duffy writes these little long-form Christmas poems. Actually, this will link in quite well. Writes long-form Christmas poems and then gets them illustrated by different illustrators every year. Now, I've been sort of collecting these as time has gone by. But last year, a collection of the poems came out, and this is all of the Christmas poems together, plus a few that I didn't know about, and a few with different... So Mrs. Scrooge, for instance, the Mrs. Scrooge I owned had a different illustrator. It's got my favourite one in here, which is Another Night Before Christmas, and yeah, gorgeous. But the new one that isn't in there is Advent Street, and this is illustrated by Yelena Briesenkova, and I love to sort of read these by the light of the Christmas tree, have a little twinkly little nice light on and have a lovely time with that. And then just out from the library, I've got We Wish You a Merry Christmas and Other Festive Poems, which are chosen and illustrated by Chris Riddell. And this is a library book, and yeah, it does what it says. And some are very familiar, like I saw 3 ships come sailing in. I saw 3 ships come sailing in, come sailing in, come sailing in. I saw 3 ships come sailing in on Christmas Day in the morning. And what was in those ships all 3, those ships all 3, those ships all 3. And what was in those ships all 3 on Christmas Day in the morning? A Christ... turns biblical here. Our Saviour Christ and his lady, and his lady, and his lady. Our Saviour Christ and his lady on Christmas Day in the morning. That sort of sings Church of England Primary School Assembly. And yeah, so yeah, lots of different things here. I'm looking forward to them. I really am looking forward to them. Jingle bells as well. Nice, enjoyable. And then 2 picture books, one of which I've received this year. Oh, one's a library book. This one, which I'm so excited about. So this is Cat Family Christmas, by written by Lucy Brownridge and illustrated by Eun-Young Sao. And this is to be read on the run-up to Christmas. Now, it is that I've looked at this one, and if I'm being honest, I've looked at this one, and if I'm being even more honest, my niece has already ripped a drawer. So she had a little look through this. So this is the most flappy book I've ever seen, and it's all about cats. Now, this is the 12 Days of Christmas part, and look at all these little cat kittens going off to school with little backpacks with little lunches in them, which are adorable, and mittens, and then each of these has little, like, there's so many flaps in here, and behind most flaps there's like mice, Christmas mice doing like exciting things. Like here is a mouse dressed as an elf using a little wagon to transfer some baubles around. That's what I want to see. So I'm so excited to get involved with this and get this out every single year and share it with my niece as she gets older and can promise me and assure me that she isn't gonna rip anything. And then I've got The Winter Wish by Helen Mortimer and Rachel Dean. I had a little flick through this, and this looks lovely. And here it is. It's, this guy's a little bookish guy. He's 6 years old and 37 books tall. And this is William, who lives with Mum, Dad and Rufford in a tiny flat above their shop. And the illustrations just look lovely. So looking forward to reading that as well. On to non-fiction and a few books that I basically mention every year, which are old faves, and I'm sure you'll stick around for those as well. So the first one is A Ukrainian Christmas, which is Nadika Yerbish and Yaroslav Hertzak. This was published before the Russia-Ukraine war, but has been republished with some proceeds donation going to Emergency Community Ukraine Humanitarian Appeal. And this sort of talks about the history and the things that happen for a Ukrainian Christmas. I'm really interested in sort of like other Christmases and what people get up to, so this will be a delight. And also it's set into like really good chapters that I will enjoy, like feasting and fasting and the Christmas tree and a ban on Christmas and Christmas truces. So yeah, so I'm looking forward to reading more about Ukrainian Christmases. And then I've got a book that I got for Christmas Eve last year, so won't have appeared on a TBR last year. And David's mum, love that she is, does us a little Christmas Eve box and gives David and I a little pair of pyjamas and a new Christmas mug and a bath bomb, and in recent years started including a few little books in there. And last year the book that I got was Advent, Recipes and Crafts for the Countdown to Christmas by Kerstin Niehoff and Laura Fleiter. And I believe there's a lot of sort of German stuff in here. So for instance, we're looking at white cinnamon and almond crackles, so like there's lots of different recipes, and I really would like to get round to making some of the recipes in here. And there's also some crafts and things like that. So for example, how to make a door wreath. This has excited me. Christmas scent, half an orange, a preserving jar, 2 cinnamon sticks, about 10 cloves and 3 star anise. Lovely. And then you can just like heat that up over a little tea light and have a lovely time. Watercolour Christmas cards. I wish I could do things as neat as that, but like, lots of like lovely, gentle, cozy Christmas crafts and recipes in here, which I'm looking forward to getting to. Then we are on the last lot of books, which are ones old favourites and ones that have appeared before. The first one is Christmas Days, 12 Stories and 12 Feasts for 12 Days by Jeanette Winterson. Now I listened to the audiobook of this, but the actual book of this is always worth a show because it's just so beautiful. It's got this sort of like book plate-esque start to each story, and there's like silver in the books and like blue bits and things like that. So as I said, this is 12 Stories and 12 Feasts for 12 Days written by Jeanette Winterson. 12 stories that range from like the absurd to the really creepy, interspersed with recipes and bits, non-fiction sort of excerpts, memoir bits about her life and her Christmases. It's a lovely, lovely read. I love reading it every year, and it's becoming more and more familiar to me as it's becoming more and more part of my ritual of Christmas. So now I'm sort of like thinking, oh, when's the story about the big dog coming out the cracker coming on, and like when's the recipe about the mince pies coming and stuff like that. I'm really getting familiar with it, and it's just such a lovely, lovely thing, and I love it. Love it. Probably my favourite ever Christmas book. Love it so much. Then one that I got last year, which I didn't get around to reading, was The Little Library Christmas by Kate Young. Kate Young is an author who does these sort of like little library books where she takes recipes from books and then recreates them, and this is that sort of collection but with Christmas. So here we go. So I'm looking for one that I recommend one that I've read. She's not, oh god, and the photography in here is also lovely. I mean, look at that lamp and this sort of like stocking setup with a gorgeous mug, and also a Christmas Carol book that I actually already own. Cherry and pecan brownies. Oh, this is, so they're not always to do with books. So this one's about, I made some snacks for one of my favourite bookshops, the London Review Bookshop, an amazing bookshop, to hand around on one of their Christmas evenings. They're lovely nights. People wander about with wine, doing their shopping and having books signed. To tempt, the food needs to be crowd pleasing, easy to eat with one hand, and good enough that you put up with juggling an armful of books and a full glass to eat it. Oh, nice. Cherry and pecan brownies as well, lovely. So yeah, I'm looking forward to, oh, porcini mushroom arancini, I like that. Ginger beer ham, won't eat a ham, on a brioche bun, would eat brioche bun. So there we go. And then I've got A Christmas to Remember by Anton de Beck, which I got last year. Historical fiction set in a hotel in London in 1938. And we're following chambermaid Nancy Nettleton. She's a fiercely independent woman who has first moved to London. The last thing on her mind was finding love, let alone falling for the debonair dancer Raymond de Guise. Anton de Beck, Raymond de Guise. And then this starts with an invite to their wedding. And yeah, look, together with our families, Miss Nancy Nettleton and Raymond de Guise would like you to get to join us. I imagine it's set in the hotel. Books in hotels I really do enjoy as well, so that's great. Then the next one is, I mean, the cover doesn't scream Christmas. Mercedes bought this for me, and then having seen her, I think, wrap it up, she talks about, or whoever it was that I saw wrap it up, talks about this being set at Christmas. Doesn't mention at Christmas at all because it's to do with global warming. Doesn't mention that it's set at Christmas, but I'm sure lots of people... Does it say here about Christmas? No, but when I've like flicked through here, I've noticed it's about Christmas. So yeah, and it's by Carrie Spray, who is an author that I've very much enjoyed her work in the past. Then lastly, two picture books. Maggie O'Farrell, author of Hamnet and other fantastic books that I very much enjoyed. Where Snow Angels Go, and this is illustrated by Daniela Jaglenka Terrazini. Beautiful illustrations, and a book about snow angels. And there's this sort of like beautiful sort of silvery sheen to the pictures, which are a real sort of treat. And again, under the dust jacket is really nice. Do you want to see it? It's Christmas, of course you can. There we go, look at that, lovely. And then lastly, it wouldn't be Christmas for David and I without our favourite Christmas picture book, which is The Jolly Christmas Postman. This is by Janet and Alan Allberg. I don't know when this was published, but like I remember this being around like as long as I can remember. Oh, 1991, so it was published when I was 5. And this is a lovely long form poem about the Jolly Christmas Postman doing his rounds on Christmas Eve, and delivering different envelopes of exciting things to different fairy tale characters. So for example, this is going to Baby Bear, who lives at Four Bears Cottage in the woods, and Baby Bear has got in this envelope a lovely little Christmas card which has got a little picture from Goldilocks in it. Gorgeous, isn't it? And then there's like puzzles and recipes and all sorts of cute things like that. When my niece can be trusted, she will also be allowed to enjoy this, but she cannot be trusted right now. So there we go. Now, I have also got some reservations coming in at the library, and as those reservations come in, I will pop them on my Instagram to show you what other books I've got coming in. And I also review all books over on my Instagram. Instagram is going to be the place with the sort of like bonus Christmas content this year, if you'd like to go over and follow me there. As I said, I'm not doing Vlogmas, but I am doing a Vlogmas advent calendar over on Instagram, where I'm going to be sharing either the video that goes up in December. So for example, today I'll be sharing this video, so if you've come from over there, hey. And then on the days when I haven't got videos uploaded, I'm going to be sharing videos from my Vlogmas back catalogue that hopefully you will enjoy, and you'll get a little like Vlogmasy type video every day. Well, you get a Vlogmas video every day, but they might not always be new ones. So yeah, head on over there to see what books I've managed to get. Let me know what books you are most excited about out of all of these Christmassy books. I think I'm going to start with Make You Mine This Christmas. I've been excited about this ever since my friend Chloe gave it to me. So yeah, I think I'm going to start with that. I'm just going to have to. So as I said, it's probably about 10:30 now. David's dropped off on the sofa. So I imagine I'll be starting this tonight because I'll probably be up till God midnight. So hopefully you enjoyed all of these Christmassy book recommendations and what I'll be reading. If you would like to see more Christmassy books, then just search Lauren and the Books Christmas TBR. There'll be plenty of them. I've been doing these for about 6 years now, and you'll get your you'll be able to see some more Christmassy books and see if any of those take your fancy. And I'll see you all again on Sunday for the Christmas gift guide. That's exciting, isn't it? See you then. Bye!